Well, there you have it, folks. News breaking earlier, just moments ago, actually. Here, sorry, just as I was trying to go out and get some dinner here in Fort Saskatchewan this evening. A little bit of news breaking up my way. If you follow the Oilers at all, obviously Markus Niemelainen. We talked about him earlier today and potentially coming aboard with the Oilers once again on a recall from the Bakersfield Condors following the waivers placement by the Oilers of Brad Malone. And well, here today, let me get this graphic up for you and we'll discuss it in just a second, my friends, because, well, you know what? Sometimes when you're on something, it comes through. And here's the thing right there, the Edmonton Oilers officially as of 5:59, you'll see the timestamp right there, 5:59 Mountain Time this evening, recalling defenseman Markus Niemelainen from the minors. Of course, been down there with Bakersfield having a tough go of it, not necessarily personally wise, but that team's been struggling. So they exchanged the captain of the Condors from the Oilers to the Condors and, bring up a stud defenseman on the Condors to be a big-time defenseman with the Edmonton Oilers. Folks, this is Dolynny TV. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome aboard as we just kind of recap this move a little bit more. And it's one of those situations right now for the Oilers where Markus Niemelainen, we had a feeling. I did mention that I had a source come to me today and mention that Markus Niemelainen may or may not have been headed towards Edmonton about, about 2 o'clock Mountain Time today. And here we go, officially the Edmonton Oilers releasing that they have indeed recalled Markus Niemelainen. Of course, this is one of those things, if you don't know much about how the Oilers do moves, they do moves about noon every day, and then the corresponding move is done after the cutoff for the day, which is about 5 p.m. Mountain Time, I believe, 7 Eastern, something like that. That's something in my brain says something. I knew that 2 years ago. It's been a long 2 years, but we aren't going to worry about that too much at all. I'm actually shaking how excited I am that I got ahead of this scoop thanks to great people in my life who are out there helping me succeed, that's for sure. So, all right, my friends, that's Markus Niemelainen recalled by the Edmonton Oilers. If you're new to the channel, I'd like you to consider hitting that subscribe button. We are just barely away from 10,000 at this point, less than 500, and you could be one of them if you're new and feel like sticking around for more. Maybe, hey, you know what? I get about 2 exclusive scoops a year, it feels like. This one, and, guess what? Now I got to hope that tomorrow afternoon at Rogers Place something crazy happens, and Patrick and I are able to do the second exclusive scoop for Dolynny TV together live on YouTube tomorrow from Ford Hall. Now, that said, this is something that I wanted to discuss before we head out from this Niemelainen video. Simply put, is there something in the works here? And I mean, I've had discussions with Gillies TV. I've had discussions with the Oilers Fanatic today. I've had discussions with other people on Twitter today. Simply put, note there that, well, you know what? This seems like one of those situations where the Oilers are recalling a roster player to make a move, right? Obviously, we have a lot of speculation this past week about, well, yes, Puljujärvi to the Anaheim Ducks. Guess who's in town tomorrow? Guess who, if they're going to make a move with the Oilers, would like to have that player in the lineup against the Oilers tomorrow? Well, that would be the Anaheim Ducks. So that's where kind of this situation is sitting for the Edmonton Oilers, is this Markus Niemelainen move comes kind of out of nowhere because now the Oilers have 8 defensemen on the roster and have waived a forward to make room for Niemelainen. So it comes to some kind of situation for the Oilers where, okay, something's brewing here. Something's got to be. Just from a pure fan perspective, something has got to be brewing here, and that's what we're trying to wonder for Edmonton Oilers moves tomorrow. Is something actually going to be up? I mean, maybe keep refreshing Twitter all night tonight. Maybe the Anaheim Ducks making the deal tonight with the Oilers and getting things going. I'm not sure to figure out what's going on, but I don't know what you could possibly do, right? The Condors go from 11-7 to 12-6, and I think, of course, the Bakersfield Condors, their situation hopefully gets a little bit better getting their captain back, but now the Edmonton Oilers, everybody all of a sudden getting out there and talking about the Oilers having 8 defensemen. I mean, Low Tide's going with now 8 defensemen on the Oilers roster. Curious move. You got to remember, too, the Canucks making moves, calling up Lane Peterson. Sorry, I'm just going through, and Kurt Levins has got the eyeballs emoji going here, too. So There's a lot of speculation I think will be happening in Edmonton Oilers land tonight, and I think too, to go back to that thought on Jesse Puljujarvi to the Anaheim Ducks, is we've talked about needing to move Tyson Barrie if you're upgrading the defense, and I think over this past week we've come to a foregone conclusion that no matter what happens with the Oilers making a trade with Puljujarvi, if we're bringing in Klingberg, Chychrun, anyone, a defenseman is going out. So suddenly you think about this here where, well, Klingberg could be coming in with the Oilers and then all of a sudden, right, what happens there? I guess you maybe move somebody else out too. I don't know. I don't know what's actually going on here. And that's kind of the thing, is there's a lot of make you think here, right? If Tyson Barrie leaves the Oilers, well then Klingberg's coming in, and yes, Puljujarvi with salary cap works out, everything kind of settles in, and that's where it gets really interesting now, is why is Niemelainen here as an eighth defenseman? Last video, I theorized that simply put, he's here to just add an element the Oilers don't have, but now the other side that fans have been pushing here is you've got the Anaheim Ducks in town. They've got 2 regulation wins on the season as far as I last counted. Would this not be the perfect time to scratch Darnell Nurse? And this is absolutely ludicrous to think that from any kind of actual analytical I know hockey perspective, but from a pure fan perspective where you're asking the coach to keep players of all levels, right? Jay Woodcroft benched Evan Bouchard for a similar mistake. Why wouldn't you against the Anaheim Ducks, coming off a game where you just barely lost to the St. Louis Blues, where you know Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to light the Ducks up so bad it's not even going to be funny? Why wouldn't you give your stud defenseman, who just, you know what I mean by that term. It's something that I've explained in previous videos. Your stud defenseman a night off, make an example of him, scratch him, right? Big time. He's a leadership guy, right? You can do it. Jay Woodcroft said we win and lose as a team, but sometimes you got to hold guys accountable. It can't just be Evan Bouchard. Give him the night off. Bring somebody else into this lineup, maybe potentially or not. And, have Niemelainen in there. Go 11-7, right? Spread out the minutes, right? 11-7. Niemelainen comes in. You keep the defense the rest of the way it is. And I guess Niemelainen and Murray would come in. And then you have Skinner start, and you have the team go. I don't think you're losing this game, Darnell Nurse or not, against the Anaheim Ducks, and that's kind of the fun part here for the Edmonton Oilers, is this is the game to do it, if they do indeed do it, which is why I think that has led a lot of Oilers fans into believing that this may be something where the Oilers are looking to scratch Darnell Nurse to just allow for a little bit of an example to be made. I don't know. I think it's crazy, but again, you explain to me something that makes more sense, because either it's a trade with the Anaheim Ducks for John Klingberg, yes, Puljujarvi, and probably Tyson Barrie going back the other way, or simply put, it's scratching Darnell Nurse, or what's the third option? I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to wrap my head around this one when the source got to me this afternoon with this news. The Nemo was coming up, and here now we are discussing it after it's happened about 3 hours later, and I don't have an answer for why this move happened. And tomorrow we play the Anaheim Ducks at 2 p.m. Folks, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am up on Oda here.